have you seen how fucking incredible? You know, we talked about like Blue Point and the job they're doing on that remake. You know,
Yes, sir.
and the job they usually do, and you know, a couple of little things with those models, but it is what it is. But I mean, really, what Blue Point needs to do is step their game up because they need to catch up with the 13 remake. Because the 13 remake is it's crushing it right now.
Wooly,
And if you haven't been paying attention,
Wooly, this joke is not funny because they were working under very tight deadlines and did not do nearly as good of a job as they could because of coronavirus. I'm just kidding. That's bullshit. They fucked it. They fucked it all up. But that's their excuse.
I'm like, motherfucker, when the fuck did that come out?
They literally said, like, well, you know, we're working from home with Corona, so, you know. It's tough.
Okay. Hey, have you played any video games recently that you enjoyed?
Yeah, I played many video games recently that I've enjoyed.
And did they come out during, you know,
many, a couple of them were delayed.
Okay.
But they came out pretty great in general.
Cool. All right, just checking. No worries.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Well, anyway. So, hey, children. People are like, what game are we talking about? Talking about 13. We're talking about FF13? No, 13.
We're talking about
XIII. XIII is a old-ass game that was cel-shaded.
Shooter.
Yes, and I thought it was Ubi, wasn't it?
I believe it was, but I don't know.
But but like they are not involved in this remake. But there was a game called XIII. It was a first-person shooter. It was cel-shaded, and the fact that it was cel-shaded was the only thing to really say about it because it was, hey, look at it. It's got the cel shading, and
there are people that like that game. I'm not one of them, but there are.
Now, I never played it, right? But from what I could tell, it was mainly about that visual style being something that people enjoyed, and it also kind of comic booked a bit by having like...
It was quite visually striking.
Yeah, it had like onomatopoeia appearing and things like that, and you know, this was early on when like there weren't a ton of games that were doing this. It had a very strong art style, and I'm just gonna keep talking about that art style because that's all there is to say.
Yeah, that's that.
Right?
Yeah. Well,
but
I never got to it back in the day. Should I play this remake?
Well, here's Play Magic and publisher Microids have remade the classic first-person adventure, and they've issued an apology for what is being described as a disappointing myriad of technical issues. Here, I'm going to send you
video reviews on this.
Did you see?
Considerably more than a disappointing myriad of issues. It is a train fire.
Step one is the side-by-side comparison of the art style.
The cel shading's gone.
They literally just undid the cel shading. It's like... It's the craziest art decision I've ever seen for any fucking game. Like, the identity and the point of the thing that people liked, you just went and said, nah, and you took it away. And, you know, it's such a weird decision to make. They uncel shaded it. It's the only thing I ever knew about the game. It's the only point to bring up here, and they just kind of turned it into what the tweet refers to as just kind of like a generic kind of Fortnite model. And yeah
they look like Fortnite characters.
Turns into whatever, right? And then you can just check out the gameplay, because the game getting uncel shaded is like really dumb, but whatever. Okay. No, not whatever. It's dumb. But just there's a second thing where you look at the gameplay, and there's a video compilation of just like what looks like essentially when you shoot characters, when you shoot the enemies, the AI doesn't react to getting shot. They just go from being active to ragdolling. So
and in fact, there appears to be like a half-second delay before the ragdoll kicks in.
Yes, true. So you shoot somebody, and then the person stands there, continues walking if they were walking, and then a second later, they just slowly crumple to the ground. And it's not unlike, I'm reminded of what old-ass movies from like, from like the black and white era, where they didn't know what people dying should look like in war. So you go watch an old war movie, and people just kind of lie down and go to sleep after they get shot. You know? Now, to be fair, in real life, you do just kind of fall over. Not everyone goes, blah, and has a big old, like...
very quickly.
There's an impact felt from where the bullet hits you or so, and you generally go falling in that direction with some sense of velocity. In this case, it's like you got tagged by the bullet, and then you take a couple steps, and then you go, time to go Betty bye. And they go down and take a nap. There's also a bunch of other shit, like staring at some ammo, and as you walk up to the ammo, it slides up onto a desk, and as you walk away from it, it drops under the desk.
Oh, there's so many. Like, you can check out G-Man Lives. His Australian guy does video reviews for a lot of shooters. He went into a very exhaustive breakdown, and like the final couple levels, like the sound effects just sounded like your sound card is dying. You can't quick save anymore, and they've been replaced by checkpoints. They mix the music so low you can't hear it anymore. The iron sights have been added to some weapons, which completely fucks up the whole balance of the game. There's tons and tons and tons of bugs.
There's
one of the worst ones I saw is there's a sniper mission. Is that what you're gonna mention?
I was gonna the guy who's on the roof that is just walking around. I don't know if you saw that. There's a one-on-one moment where they're basically, this dude's just trying to shoot you, but every couple of seconds he stops trying to shoot you and just kind of like goes back to walking around in like a non-patrol, but just there's no aggression in the AI at all, and you can just slowly meander to the left and he'll always miss, and it's just soft and weird.
There's a series of flashbacks in the game that don't have a black and white filter anymore, so it looks like you just got teleported to a memory or something. Like, it's super confusing. But my favorite is there's a sniper that you shoot off a building with a sniper rifle underneath the billboard, and in the original you would hit him in the head, and you would see 3 escalating panels from left to right that were a zoom in of his face, and then it would follow him in one of the panels as he fell off the building and go, right? It was a really cool shot. And in the remake, it's a single panel that you shoot him and he just ragdolls and has no sound effect. And that's it.
Yeah. It's hard to describe like how a game like what am I trying to say here? Drake and the 99 Dragons launched that way.
Yeah.
They weren't trying to remake a story and game that already existed and that people already, liked. If this is the end product of your efforts, like, why would you not just stop? Pull the plug and call it a day. It's absolutely cancel worthy.
Like when you watch video footage of the 2 versions side by side, you could convince people that the old one is the remake.
That's fucking rough, but it's like, dude, like, it's that bad. It looks that shit that it wasn't worth it. Yeah, sunk cost fallacy. We are where we are. Anyway, rip 13.
Wasn't the greatest game in the world, but it did have some cool stuff, and this is an incredibly depressing legacy for it.
If you're one of those that cared, and again, I was always just like, oh yeah, it's that cel-shaded game, and that was what it was to me. if you did care, fucking hell, I feel bad for getting handed this. Yeah, they came out, they apologized for how fucking shit it was. And, you know, they said they're going to keep working on it.
Oh, Quiet Shy reports she beat the remake. It's an 8-hour game, and she has 4 hours of bugs recorded.
Yeah! Oh, yeah, boy.
Oh, some of these are real good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know those, you know,
Damn.
when the person's head texture just freaks out and just pulls their whole asshole out through their fucking face?
Yo. 4 hours of bugs on an 8-hour game. I'm fucking hard. I'm wrecked. That is beautiful. QA dies hard, man. That is gorgeous. That's lovely. Glad to hear it. Whew. Yeah, man. A good bug. Chub you right up.